This is Part 3, Episode 175. Luo Feng devoted himself to studying the Beast God's 7 Techniques first manual. The first level was a partial fusion of space and gold. The gold laws. Luo Feng had already received the recognition of the laws. He was close to almost fully comprehending the gold laws. In that sense, he was already adequate enough to reach up to the 5th level of the Beast God's 7 Techniques. In terms of the space laws, the first level's requirements were 1. St. 3 pictures of the 9 universe tablet. Shiluo Duo went through normal comprehension back then too. He didn't truly comprehend all 108 wonders like I will. Luo Feng thought. However, according to his book, if one fully comprehended all 108 wonders of the space and gold law foundation, then the power of the first level would be even greater. I'll first finish up the 108 wonders of the space law. Luo Feng thought. The path of comprehending the wonders was extremely tough. Luo Feng had the Mosha clansman, the golden horned beast, and he was sector lord level, hence his training was much faster. The over 180 years of training that he did in the Gold Horn race world, which was during sector lord level, was worth more than tens of thousands of years of domain lord level training. Tens of thousands of years of training. With Luo Feng's talent, if he hadn't studied the wonders of space, and simply studied the basic 9 universe tablet like others, he probably would have finished the 4th picture already. Back then, Lian Luo took 3,000 years at sector lord level to fully comprehend the 108 wonders. Before comprehending the wonders fully, I won't study the 4th or 5th picture, or there will be distractions. Luo Feng took a deep breath. Choosing this path. It was set to be tough. And he even picked a path, which was even tougher than simply comprehending the laws. This was the fusion of laws. Bring it. Luo Feng's eyes gleamed with anticipation. After which, he began his period of training, sitting crossed-legged every day on his balcony, while looking up occasionally to observe the law revolutions. The golden horned beast kept studying the huge beast god statue, and was also comprehending the beast god presence from the little statue. The Mosa clansman on the other hand was studying the space laws. 3 as 1. With the help of the beast god statue, he was able to observe the law revolutions in the primal universe. He would occasionally head over to the city leader's residence to view the tablet personally. Also, he could head over to some Emperor-level Undying's teaching classes. This way, his training speed was many times faster than in the actual universe. Time passed. His life had turned into a routine of listening to his teacher, attending other Emperor-level Undying's classes, studying the beast god statue, and training. Luo Feng was like a well-oiled machine continuously growing, like a dry sponge desperately soaking up moisture. In the blink of an eye, close to 90 years had passed, but this was the primal universe time. As for the actual universe time, it was already close to 300 years. Primal Chaos City, within a majestic ancient residence, there gathered over 1,000 warriors who were sitting crossed-legged. They listened to an old man covered in green scales with a long beard teach a class. So, it's that way. Wonderful. Luo Feng sat crossed-legged amidst the others and listened intently. He couldn't help but reveal a look of glee, as the doubts in his mind started clearing up. The old man teaching the class was one of those that he frequented in this close to 90 years. This warrior was Yang Long Emperor. He was well reputed in Primal Chaos City, as he was definitely a true pinnacle level being amongst the Emperor-level Undyings. In terms of strength alone, he was very close to True Yang Emperor. True Yang Emperor and Yang Long Emperor, along with other pinnacle-level emperors, would often draw a lot of people to their classes. Yang Long Emperor was from the Virtual Universe Company faction, and he specialized in space and gold laws. Hence, Luo Feng enjoyed his classes and frequented them. We will end here today. The green-scaled old man smiled and said, his long beard flowed in the wind as he got up. Thank you, teacher. Over 1,000 warriors below, and more than half of them were Undyings, along with the other geniuses, got up and bowed extremely respectfully, as they shouted with gratitude. These classes were after all free, they were definitely grateful for them. Yang Long Emperor smiled and brought his disciples and left. The crowd down below began to disperse as well. To Orkaye, that must be Luo Feng. Even though I've heard of his name in the huge axe dojo, and know that he's an absolute genius, this is the first time I've seen him. Ah, right, he should be a Primal Region Domain Lord. You are also a Domain Lord Primal Region member, you should be familiar with him, right? Tell me about him. In the distance, two men were chatting. Among these two, one was fatter with 3 soft horns on his forehead, and his skin was red as he smiled at Luo Feng. The other was a skinny cold man in black armor. He is indeed a Primal Region Domain Lord. There are a total of 11 people in the Domain Lord level Primal Region right now. The skinny man said coldly. He just rose from the universe level, and he hasn't even taken part in any qualification battles. Hence, I'm not close to him. Ah, what a pity. The fatter man shook his head. What's there to pity? The skinny man said coldly, Tsipu Luo, do you really care about him? He is after all a rare genius. The fatter man said. Humph, he just recently became a Domain Lord, he hasn't even taken part in one qualification battle. And the next Domain Lord battle will be in 18 years. The Primal Region Universe level members have very low standards, the strongest only passing the 8th level of the Heavenly Bridge. And at our Domain Lord level, the lowest Primal Region members have all passed the 10th level. The skinny man said coldly, this Luo Feng is set to be eliminated to the absolute beginning region. Newbies. It's normal to be eliminated temporarily. The fatter man said. That'll depend on his strength then. The skinny man glanced at Luo Feng and smiled coldly. My teacher said that he was an absolute genius, he would definitely take the Primal Region slot in the future. However, I don't believe it. Geniuses normally start off fast and slide down slowly, there's so many cases of it. That does seem right. The fatter man nodded. What's more, our Domain Lord Primal Region has 10 seniors. Even though on the surface, only one has passed the 11th level, they are all incredibly crafty. Even if they had the ability to pass the 11th, they will all hide it well. This way, they can surprise their opponents during the qualification battles. The skinny man said softly, I dare guarantee that there are at least 3 of the seniors that can pass the 11th level. As for the rest, they all have passed the 10th a long time ago, but they all have their own secret techniques. The fatter man nodded. The qualification battles 18 years from now will have the 10 seniors and Luo Feng, the single newbie. Just watch, he will lose very badly. The skinny man said confidently. Ha ha. The fatter man laughed. Luo Feng, who was walking out with the crowd, heard everything clearly. It was obvious this Tuokaye wasn't trying to hide it. These bunch of punks, they don't know that I don't even consider them as opponents. Luo Feng thought. Tuokaye was one of the 10 seniors of the Domain Lord Primal Region members, he was pretty strong. Actually over so many years. Luo Feng had discovered that the 10 seniors of the Primal Region had some conflict with him due to his swift uprising. It made many within the virtual universe company regard him as a rare genius of the past 10,000 eras, and that he would take a spot in the Sector Lord Primal Region. Amongst the 4 secret regions, the Primal Region was the most respected and valuable. Universe level, Domain Lord level, Sector Lord. It was obvious that the competition was most intense at the Sector Lord level, of which it involved a large amount of resource distribution. As the upper echelon all complimented Luo Feng, it naturally made the similar Primal Region geniuses all unhappy. All of them were after all vying for the same Sector Lord Primal Region spots. Looking down on me? Luo Feng thought as he shook his head, mocking within. During the qualification battles in 18 years, I'll give them something to look at. Luo Feng. Barbata's voice resounded within his mind. Even though on the surface you are a Domain Lord, in truth you are already Sector Lord level. Your training efficiency for one day equates to their 1 year, and now, with the 3 clones, and the Beast God statue, you are already stronger than them. You will simply be bullying them. Bully? Luo Feng laughed. Indeed. During the close to 90 years in Primal Chaos City, Luo Feng had completely comprehended 102 of the 108 wonders. In terms of efficiency, it was 20 times that of Lian Luo. The main thing was that he had 3 clones, all extremely gifted, and the heavenly beast god statue. Naturally his efficiency was much higher. I hope I can finish the 108 wonders before the qualification battles. Luo Feng thought. The moment he did that, then his space law comprehension would be sufficient to pass the 12th level of the heavenly bridge. This was what Lian Luo said back then, and Luo Feng had realized himself as well, that even without relying on his shocking spirit energy amplitude, he could still pass the 11th level already. Let's go to the city leader's residence. Luo Feng turned and headed that way. Why are we heading there? Barbata asked. To study the 9 universe tablet. Luo Feng smiled. But you've already used up all your chances. Barbata said. Having been in Primal Chaos City for close to 90 years, Luo Feng had never once attempted the heavenly bridge. Hence, he only had 2 chances at studying the tablet, and 30 years ago, he had already used it up. Simple, I'll attempt the heavenly bridge. Luo Feng smiled. My walk from here to the city leader's residence should be enough for me to pass the 12th level. Immediately, he sent a thread of consciousness into the virtual universe network. Standing at the entrance of the heavenly bridge, right in the center of the beautiful island, stood the watchman Bevan, who had been here for countless years. He stood there patiently. Suddenly a silhouette appeared out of nowhere in the center. It was a black-haired youth. Luo Feng. Watchman Bevan revealed a smile. Dressed in a fiery red long robe, he smiled and walked over. Watchman Bevan, you've changed your robe. Luo Feng smiled. Ha ha, I can't always be wearing the same thing. He smiled and replied. I haven't seen you in a long time. Ever since you passed the 7th level, you haven't attempted it even once. In the blink of an eye, several hundred years have passed. I know you, the moment you attempt the bridge, it's always shocking. How are you prepared to shock us this time? Passing straight to the 9th. Or, the barrier of the 10th. Most of the Domain Lord Primal Region members had all only passed the 10th. Luo Feng had only been training for a few hundred years. Watchman Bevan was mocking him too. He didn't think Luo Feng was truly that exceptional. Luo Feng smiled. I'll surprise you. Watchman Bevan was shocked. I'll be waiting. Luo Feng smiled and became a beam of light flying towards the 9 universe bridge. Luo Feng stood before the 9 universe bridge and gazed at the never-ending bridge before him. Smiling, he said, Old friend, it's been a while. Naturally I'm going to shock everyone today. It's time to give it my all and show everybody my strength. He instantly became a gold beam of light and disappeared into the distance, beginning his attempt. As he began his attempt, Watchman Bevan began sending out a group of males. The absolute genius of the past 10,000 eras, Luo Feng Shaw, is watched by many of the upper echelons. Watchman Bevan muttered. They all ordered me to let them know the moment he attempts the bridge. In an instant, tens of males were sent out. There were 3 exceptional members from Luo Feng's batch of geniuses. One of them was Bolan, another was Rong Jun, and the last was Luo Feng. Bolan and Luo Feng were both regarded as geniuses of the past 10,000 eras. Rong Jun, however, was looked on as a treasure by the upper echelon of the Virtual Universe Company. They even competed against each other to accept him as their disciple. However, at least for now, of the 3 geniuses, Luo Feng was in the lead. Jade Emperor extended her crystal-like finger and gently tapped open a screen. A male appeared on it. Luo Feng is attempting the heavenly bridge. Her perfect face revealed a peculiar smile as she said softly, this punk never rests till he shocks everybody. The other geniuses from his batch that had attempted the bridge regularly, especially that Bolan, has already passed the 8th level. Who knows how many levels he'll pass this time, 9th? Or the unbelievable 10th. Jade Emperor smiled and immediately rushed to the bridge. In less than 10 seconds, Chu Yang, Jade, Tai Nan, Beikeng official and so on, a total of 86 undyings, where over half of them were emperors, and the rest of them were officials, had all gathered at the bridge. On the island in the center of the heavenly bridge area, Tru Yang and the other undyings gathered. Ha ha, so many people. Tru Yang laughed and looked about. Tru Yang, it's your fault for producing such an exceptional disciple. A huge man with a huge golden beard laughed. The knight ordered me to take note of this punk. I don't dare slack off. The moment I found out he was attempting the bridge, I had to come immediately. Yeah, I'm here on the knight's orders too. The other emperors along with some officials smiled. The atmosphere was good. Tru Yang laughed as he turned to look at Jade behind him, mocking, Jade, you have to tell the Nine-Blade Knight the news. With so many of the upper echelon watching him, Nine-Blade sure has pressure on him. When my disciple does well, others may want to steal him away. Whatever belongs to the knight is his, no one can take him away. Jade's gaze swept past the group of Undyings, making many of them laugh out loud. The knights, universe country leaders, within the virtual universe company were all competing, and the number of warriors below them were naturally different. And getting more pinnacle-level emperors under them may give them the chance to actually break through to becoming knights. These naturally formed sects even amongst the knights. There were many situations where the knights couldn't personally attend to, naturally having a powerful warrior under them made a huge difference. It's hard enough to get a normal emperor-level Undying. However, as for when Luo Feng will reach emperor-level pinnacle like his teacher Tru Yang, when that time comes, he can form his own sect. A black-robed lady with a long snake tail smiled. Nine-Blade Knight won't be able to stop him either. When that happens, the many knights and country leaders will use all methods to attract him. It'll be hard to say who he will go to. You seem to really favor him. Jade looked over. That is at least a possibility. The black-robed lady smiled. Everybody, how far do you think he'll go this time? At least the 8th. The Bolin from his batch has already passed the 8th. From what I see, it may be the 9th, he's used to shocking people. I think it's the 9th too. 9th is the limit. Every 3 levels is a barrier, it's highly unlikely he passes the 10th. 9th. It may be the 10th, don't get too shocked when he does it. Tru Yang, what do you think? A big group of emperors and officials representing their knights, even though the officials were weaker in strength, they could still take on such matters. It was obvious they were all trusted aides, hence everybody was carefree about the matter. It seems like most think he'll reach the 9th level. Tru Yang wasn't exactly laughing as he smiled, his gaze sweeping past the crowd. Everybody will just have to wait and see. The battle's starting. After which the 86 Undyings all turned to look at the screen. On it, Luo Feng had just reached the end of the 8th level. The asteroid had just turned into a blue-clothed man as they faced off and began. The battle ensued for just a second before it ended. He had passed the 8th level. He didn't win completely over the 8th, the 9th should be his limit. 86 Undyings all watched the screen and commented, however they quickly grew silent. The 9th level's opponent still used the Nanshan Armament's 6th level Blade World, but it had reached a very high level. Luo Feng used his Blade World as well to clash about 10 times, after getting a good grasp on his opponent's attack. Only then did he defeat him. 9th level, pass. The 10th level was a yellow-clothed man. He used the Nanshan Armament's 7th level, land and sky crushing rod. This rod belonged to the extreme high level of the Blade World. Luo Feng similarly clashed with him for about 10 times before fiercely crushing him. 10th level, pass. 11th level, the yellow-clothed opponent used the Nanshan Armament's 8th level, space-slicing gold blade. Luo Feng still clashed with him for a while before killing him. 11th level, pass. On the island. The group of Undyings were all silent, as all of them were shocked as they stared at the screen, all in disbelief. Was this possible? He was initially leading the geniuses by passing the 7th level of the Heavenly Bridge in the past. But, within just a few hundred years, suddenly he had the strength to pass the 11th level. Also, from what the Undyings saw, he was obviously still not giving his all. He would purposely clash a few times with the opponents before killing them. It was obvious the 11th level opponent hadn't even given him much of a challenge. My God! How is this possible? His improvement is so fast, and he's only a domain lord. Even if he was a sector lord, it's still impossible for him to improve so much in just a few hundred years. Terrifying. Too terrifying. The emperors and officials were all stunned. Luo Feng's improvement speed had far exceeded an absolute genius, even exceeding that of a demon. Hence, they could only call him a monster. One that exceeded all expectations and imaginations, an absolute genius monster. Just like Kudi back then, universe level, domain lord, sector lord level, he could all pass the primal region Sky Mountain. And at sector lord level pinnacle, he was akin to an emperor level undying. He could even kill official level undyings. This was a monster. In terms of strength, Luo Feng was still far from Kudi back then. However, his speed improvement over these few hundred years was definitely not ordinary. Will he pass the 12th? Is law comprehension as easy as drinking water to him? How is this even possible? There should be a limit, no. Right now amongst the 10 seniors of the Domain Lord Primal Region members, the strongest has only passed the 11th level, and is already trained for tens of thousands of years. As for this Luo Feng, has he exceeded him from just a few hundred years of training? This is impossible. The Undyings all held their breaths. It was pure silence on the island, no one dared say anything, all of them were staring hard at the screen. Levels 7 to 9 were in space. 10 to 12 were within a planet itself, the bridge extended into the core and lava region of the planet itself. Within the planet, Luo Feng stood at the end of the 12th level, gazing down at the vast land below. I've finally reached the surface. There was rumbling from below the ground and a voice resounded, pick your opponent, fighter, controller, or hypnotist. Pick one, defeat him and you will pass the 12th level. Controller. Luo Feng said. Rumble. The ground shook and countless yellow lights shot out from all about below, swiftly gathering in mid-air. In an instant, it became a yellow-armored mysterious warrior wearing a mask. He carried a dark golden long rod on his back and stood on a dark cloud shuttle. He looked at Luo Feng and said, to reach the 12th level at Domain Lord level, you are very exceptional. As of now, none of the Domain Lord members of the Virtual Universe Company have passed this. Then let me break the record. Luo Feng smiled. You seem confident. The yellow-clothed man said coldly. I'll still be using the Nan Shan Armament's 8th level, space-slicing gold blade. However, it'll be much stronger than the 11th level, you will have to be careful. Come. Luo Feng smiled. Rumble. Rumble. Luo Feng and the yellow-clothed man immediately shot out countless gold lights, every 81 of them swiftly becoming a golden little blade. The two of them had 108 golden little blades around them. These 108 blades immediately revolved around and shot out many gold threads, as the powerful law ripples filled up their surroundings, space and gold laws, in perfect harmony, swiftly fusing. Combine. Luo Feng and the man shouted simultaneously. 108 gold blades swiftly gathered and became a 2.8-meter tall gold broadsword. The two of them floated in mid-air with their broadswords. Luo Feng's broadsword shook before him. Spirit energy amplitude. Explode. Luo Feng could feel his control over the broadsword feeling somewhat taxing. He immediately increased his spirit energy amplitude to 1,200, it was immediately much easier. It was almost like a normal person lifting a barbell. If he had 12 times the strength suddenly, it would suddenly seem much easier. Luo Feng stood on his dark cloud shuttle. 1,200 threads of spirit energy poured into controlling the Nan Shan gold broadsword, precisely controlling the entire blade's complex law engravings, triggering the space and gold laws. Luo Feng looked at the distant yellow-clothed man and shouted, Space Slice. The gold blade was strong and unwavering. The space around it warped as it followed the flow of space itself, almost like it flowed through the most precise path, or slit in space. What was visible was a golden thread slicing through space, leaving behind a visible slit as it flew. It was obvious that if it was any stronger, it would instantly tear apart space itself. The yellow-clothed man stood on his dark cloud shuttle as he controlled his blade, fast as lightning. The two blades instantly clashed in mid-air. It was almost like two absolute swordsmen exchanging blades. Luo Feng and the man had already reached an unbelievable level of control of the gold blades. They were so fast that only gold threads were visible in mid-air, which spread throughout the skin and covered the area. Clashing time and again. It was very intense. This scene had complete stunned the group of Undyings watching the broadcast of the battle. This was a scene where the 8th level of the Nanshan armament had reached an extremely high level. The gold blade was not even clearly visible, one could only see the gold threads move about. And this thread was caused by space being sliced apart. Luo Feng and the yellow-clothed man both were at Domain Lord level 9. Hence, they only left behind slits in space. If the two of them were sector lords, with their spirit energies 1,000 times stronger, using the space slice gold blade would slice through space like tofu. And only very few sector lords could reach this level, yet Luo Feng had done it at Domain Lord level. Ha, this sure is savage. Not bad. Clashing tens of times, Luo Feng got a clear grasp of his opponent's ability. He finally smiled widely and increased his spirit energy amplitude to 1,600. A gold thread got even faster, swiftly passing through the yellow-clothed man's body, so fast he couldn't even dodge. His body was instantly sliced apart like tofu. In an instant, the gold blade's fierce blade energy sliced through and tore his body to shreds. His life core was broken. 12th level. Passed. 13th level. Luo Feng took a deep breath, and his eyes were filled with anticipation and madness. Rumble. The end of the bridge once again began to extend. 10th level, 11th level, 12th level, these were all within the core of the planet, the lava region and the surface of the planet. Every 3 levels was a barrier. The 13th. The bridge extended upwards towards a star in space. It was obvious the battle would take place there. Star. Luo Feng followed the never-ending bridge up towards the fiery star, smiling as he swiftly flew along to begin the 13th level. In the island at the center of the bridges, 86 Undyings were all watching as Luo Feng once again exchanged blows with his opponent tens of times before killing him. They were all shocked. 12th level, he has passed the 12th level. This Luo Feng keeps picking the most disadvantaged controller route, and he actually succeeded. Jade was shocked within. She was completely dumbfounded. Luo Feng's improvement speed had reached an unbelievable level. It completely surpassed her expectations. Could he? Jade looked at Luo Feng on the screen heading towards the 13th level. Her eyes were filled with shock, his attempting the 13th. It was not just Jade at this time. All the Undyings, including his teacher Tru Yang, were all in shock. Tru Yang muttered to himself, Luo Feng frequently demonstrates to me when he asks for guidance. I always felt that he could barely pass the 12th level. However, from the looks of it, it wasn't even taxing for him. Could he really just pass the 13th? It's not that possible. This is truly quite impossible. Impossible. How could it be? The group of Undyings all couldn't believe that Luo Feng would be able to pass the 13th level. However, no one dared to make a guaranteed bet anymore. Luo Feng had just consecutively passed from the 8th to the 12th level, 5 levels in a row. This level of steadiness, clashing a few times before killing his opponents. This level of steady self-confidence had influenced them. It made them all unsure of whether he could pass the 13th level. Theoretically, they all felt it was impossible. Every 3 levels was a barrier, 1 to 3, 4 to 6, 7 to 9, 10-12. It was obvious that the 12th to the 13th would be a huge difficulty jump, and it was very hard to break through. As for Luo Feng's attempt this time, many Undyings had initially thought that he wouldn't even pass the 10th level, yet now he had even passed the 12th. One had to know that the strongest and most exceptional of the 10 seniors in the Primal Region Domain Lords had just passed the 11th, and these seniors had all been training for tens of thousands of years. But, how long had Luo Feng trained for? It was absurd. Passing the 12th level alone was crazy. Would he really think of being able to pass the barrier, past the 13th? The heavenly bridge stretched from the planet all the way to space and into a star. Luo Feng swiftly flew to the surface of the star. Pick your opponent, fighter, controller, hypnotist, Pick any one, and if you defeat him, you will pass the 13th level. A deep voice rumbled from the star. Controller. Luo Feng held his breath. When it came to the 13th level, he didn't have much of a guarantee. Completely comprehending the 108 wonders of the space laws was only sufficient to pass the 12th level, and right now he had comprehended 102 of the wonders. In terms of the space laws, he only had the capability to pass the 11th, relying on his 1,600 spirit energy amplitude. Only then could he defeat the 12th level. And the opponent of this 13th level, his power was heavenly. Could he still win? I'll do my best and give it a shot. Let's see if my hard labor for the past 90 years in primal chaos city bore fruit. Luo Feng stared ahead. Rumble. The surface flames of the star suddenly shot out a fireball. This fireball floated and gathered on the surface of the star, becoming a red armored masked man. He had fiery red hair, and carried a dark golden long rod, and stood on the dark cloud shuttle. His gold eyes stared at Luo Feng. To reach the 13th level at Domain Lord level, it's been too long since this happened. The flame-armored man looked at Luo Feng as his powerful voice resounded. Then let me break the record. Luo Feng smiled. The 13th level is much harder than the 12th, little punk, let's hope you can take it. The man smiled. I believe you've guessed it. I use the Nanshan armament's 9th and final level, a match against Undying. Luo Feng squinted. This punk could actually unleash the last level. Nanshan armament, also known as the Heavenly Armament, the full name was 9 levels Heavenly Armament, which had 9 levels in total. From the first level's illusion, blade rising to the final and strongest 9th level, a match against Undying. Even many Sector Lord Pinnacle warriors couldn't reach this level. In fact, many Undyings couldn't even use this. Let's begin. Luo Feng held his breath. I have to give it my all. Whether I lose or win, it'll depend on luck. Very good, you seem to have fighting spirit. The flame-armored man laughed. Rumble. The flame-armored man's dark golden long rod immediately exploded open, and countless little golden blades spread throughout the sky. From there, a peculiar fusion began to occur. It was completely different from the 9th level's combination. It was the final and strongest combination of the Nanshan armament. In an instant, a completely golden 3.3-meter blade that seemed normal floated there in space. It seemed like it was there and yet not, almost like it could vanish into space. Nanshan armament's 9th level, a match against Undying. This was actually called that because if a Sector Lord Pinnacle could use this, it could instantly pass through space like teleportation and vanish, suddenly appearing at any spot and instantly killing the opponent. The weapon could pass through space and time to appear anywhere. Naturally, it was much simpler than one teleporting himself, hence when one's space comprehension reached the 13th level of the Heavenly Bridge, along with their gold laws at the extreme, they could barely begin to unleash this move. Even at the basic level of strength, this move is still called a match against Undying. That was because, if a Sector Lord Pinnacle could use this move, its powerful force along with its instantaneous ability to attack, even a normal Undying would have to be on guard against it and not let it accelerate against him. The moment he got careless and let the Sector Lord chase up to him with the blade appearing instantly. Even an Undying would be heavily injured if he wasn't killed. And this would make it so that they would be unable to use their fastest speed to chase the Sector Lord. Hence, this move was called a match against Undying. The flame-armored man's dark golden long rod exploded behind him, becoming the perfect form of the Nanshan armament, a 3.3-meter long golden blade. Luo Feng was going all out. Rumble. The golden long rod on his back immediately shot out countless gold lights, and became 108 little blades, before swiftly forming the 2.8-meter long golden broadsword. It was the 8th form space-slicing gold blade. After all, he couldn't unleash the 9th level yet. The maximum power of the 8th level can still beat the 9th. Luo Feng howled within. Rumble. The golden horned beast in his internal world raised its head and howled, using its natural ability strengthen. Rumble. His spirit energy amplitude rose instantly from 1,600 to over 3,200, reaching its limit. I spent 90 years in Primal Chaos City studying the Beast God statue hard, also studying the laws and resonating between the two of them. These 90 years add up to over 900 years in the actual universe. After such a long period of training, I can control a bit of the powerful Beast God presence. Even though I still don't know how to fuse the laws, after trillions of times imitating it, I can still use some of it. Luo Feng's eyes gleamed with madness. Kill. His maximum spirit energy unleashed as he controlled the blade. Searching for that thread of terrifying Beast God presence, the 2.8-meter broadsword instantly tore through the air. The noiseless and somewhat traceless perfect form of the Nanshan armament, the 3.3-meter gold blade instantly flew through the air and the two blades finally clashed for the first time. Neither was prepared